Hello and welcome back to the Cannon Sports Show. Today we are going to be talking about ASU's second week opponent for football. They are playing Oklahoma State. So Oklahoma State, they did really well in 2021. They had a really solid season, but 2022 was a bit off. They finished 7-6. Last week they won their first game of the year against Central Arkansas, but they only won 27-13. So in a way, kind of similar to ASU, a bit underwhelming in terms of their first game performance. And so they're both of these teams, ASU and Oklahoma State, are going to be looking for a bounce back game, get a big win, and prove themselves a bit. So Oklahoma State, they're a very big team. Like they're very tall, big. They pose a lot of threats, many different points on the defensive side. They got a good defensive line. They got a three safety look that can shift and throw off the offense, and they kind of disguise that. And they'll sometimes have just two, sometimes they'll have three. I don't know, sometimes they'll beta three. It's very confusing. And if ASU can figure out a scheme that can break down this defense, they will be in good shape. They will be able to succeed. This game is going to come down to offense for ASU. Their defense can stop Oklahoma State's offense. Their offense is not solid here, but their defense is what makes them a solid team. And so if we can score on them, we should win this game handedly. So I'm going to go over some keys to the game. So we got to stop the pass rush of Oklahoma State. We need to take advantage of an unsure offense. We need to get the ball out quickly to our star players and let them work. And we need to establish the run early, make it a threat early. So last week, Oklahoma State had 5 sacks and 9 tackles for loss, showing that they have good pass rush, and that it's threatening. And obviously, it's Central Arkansas. We can't necessarily say, oh, they looked phenomenal, because it's Central Arkansas. But they have good pass rush. We need to be aware of this at the minimum. And the best way to counter pressure is short, simple routes, getting the ball out quickly. It's going to be a big test for rookie quarterback Jaden Rashada, as obviously he saw some pressure last week, but he didn't get a ton of pressure. And it's going to be interesting to see how the offensive line's able to hold up, considering, obviously, the we have a lot of good O-linemen, but at the same time, I feel like we have a lot of O-linemen that, when they aren't on their game, they struggle. And so we need to get out to a good start, and hopefully the O-line can suppress the pass rush and pressure, and then hopefully our scheme can get the ball quickly. And I'll talk more about that later. The offense last week for Oklahoma State, there's a lot of different pieces being used. Like they started the game with their senior quarterback Alan Bowman, then they moved to sophomore QB Gunnar Gundy, then they moved to freshman quarterback Garrett Rangel, and I doubt that was planned because they only won by 14 points. So I doubt that they wanted all three of them to play. But it looks like Bowman struggled a lot, and so they wanted to give their sophomore and freshman a little bit of time to play. In terms of like their running, like they didn't have anyone go over 8 carries. Like receiving, you can see here like a lot of different dudes that were throwing the ball. Like they're still trying to figure out their offense, and we need to. Like, they don't know who to rely on yet. We need to take advantage of this. We need to get pressure to the quarterback, make them make mistakes, so that way we can get off the field quickly. And I do think our defense can stop them. And I know we can get pressure. I think we're going to be blitzing a lot more. Our D-line looked good in stopping the run last game, but we did struggle a bit getting to the quarterback. So it's going to be interesting to see how we do against them. I'm not 100% sure either how Oklahoma State's O-line is, so it could be interesting, but I think it's going to be a good game for our defense. So, in terms of getting the ball out quickly, we really need to find a way to get the ball to Conyers and Badger. Like, that's our two biggest players, or not biggest, best players, and we need to get them the ball. Like, we have other players that are capable of making big plays, such as Xavier Guillory, like we saw that last week. But if Conyers and Badger get it going early, it's going to be so hard to stop us, because they're just going to be going off, and then it'll open up so many opportunities for, the receiving from Scattaboo, or from again, like Xavier Guillory, Messiah Swinson could even come in and be a game changer. Like, there's so many different pieces that could be good for us, and if Conyers and Badger get it going, we are going to get so many other opportunities from our other weapons. And then finally, we really need to establish the run against this team. Like, if we can make them always have to, worry about our run game, we're going to be hard to stop on offense. And it's a big D line, so I'm curious to see how we're going to do. Scattaboo is a bit small, but he's like built, so like he takes contact pretty well. So we need to make that a threat early, because it's just going to open up our passing game so much if we can get the run game going, and it's going to allow our quarterback and wide receivers to do their thing. So in terms of players we need to really be careful for, I don't know, like this is a very new Oklahoma State team. They added a lot of different guys. I didn't get the chance to watch. I mean, I wasn't going to. They're playing Central Arkansas. I was too busy watching Colorado play. But like I don't know much about them. The only thing I'll say for sure is Colin Oliver is one of their better players, from what I understand. Looks like Nathan Latu also had 1.5 sacks, 1.5 tackles for loss. So Nicholas Martin, Xavier Ross, 2 sacks each. But I know Colin Oliver. He plays linebacker slash D end. He can do a lot, and we need to always just be aware of him. And then Elijah Collins as well. He's a senior running back. He did okay last week. We just need to be wary of him. Like obviously being a senior, he knows what he's doing. But I feel like it's just hard to tell like who we should be worried about. Like we don't know who's gonna start at quarterback for them. So I don't know. It's really tough. So far from everything that I have heard, the team is doing really well in practice. The offense seems to be running smoother than before. I think it's going to be a really good test for the Sun Devils, and it's going to provide us a lot of good knowledge on where we are as a team. And if we win this game, we send a message that this team is legit, can compete for games this year. Just, well, not bowl games, but other than that, so, yeah, no bowl games sadly. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't really got much more to talk about other than Cardinals podcast out tomorrow, a little like pregame podcast, and then ASU podcast after the game on Saturday. I'm hoping to get that out Saturday night. I'll probably force myself to. It's just gonna be interesting, but I'll make it happen. And then Cardinals podcast Sunday, hopefully, and then NFL podcast either Monday night or Tuesday. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm very much looking forward to this game. I think it's gonna be a pretty even, but I think it's gonna be a good game. And anyway, yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.